This specific IONIQ 5 is the limited all-wheel drive version. It comes with a 5-year, 60,000-mile new vehicle warranty, and what Hyundai is famous for is their 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. It also has a 10-year, 100,000-mile electric vehicle system warranty, which is what a lot of people were concerned about as far as maintenance costs down the road. Safety technology includes forward collision avoidance assist, blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist, rear cross traffic, front and rear parking sensors, and there's even a camera in the front that can show you exactly what's in front of your car to make sure you don't hit any curbs or any cars in front of you. The powertrain technology is a 77 kilowatt plus 165 kilowatt dual electric motor, which adds to 320 horsepower, mated to an H-Track all-wheel drive system. The battery itself is a 77.4 kilowatt hour lithium-ion polymer battery with DC ultra-fast charging capability. There's also a 10.9 kilowatt onboard charger, battery preheating system, and a heat pump to help the efficiency of the vehicle in colder weather when you're using heat to warm the cabin. On the exterior, there's 20-inch alloy wheels, active grille shutters, LED projector auto headlights, daytime running lights, and tail lights. The rear and front lights of the car, to me, are what makes it stand out from the crowd. This is a truly remarkable car, and I'm excited to talk about the driving dynamics, what the interior is like, and exterior features, and I hope you enjoy the video. Been waiting to do this video for a while now. We have the 2022 Hyundai IONIQ 5 Limited all-wheel drive. This car has a 256-mile range, and in the little bit of driving that I've done already, it seems to reflect accurately for the EPA estimates. You also notice these futuristic looking 20-inch alloy wheels, absolutely beautiful. And a detail that I noticed is in this black center, almost honeycomb look, it blocks out the brakes behind it, which is nice because the brakes are nothing special, but it keeps your eye off of that and highlights this massive wheel. Another detail is these razor blade-like cuts that it has on the wheel well, gives it a unique shape. The color is lucid blue, and it's just really a striking color. There's not really any bright colors that Hyundai offers for this car yet. They're mainly earth tones, and I actually really like it. It fits the subtleness of the car and almost that 90s retro look. There's also self-presenting door handles, which is a really cool feature, and it makes it less confusing when approaching the car of how exactly to handle it. You know just to grab there, and then the door will pop open. In my opinion, the most striking part of the car is its size. In pictures, it looks like a little hatchback. This is a large car. It has a 77 kilowatt hour battery in it. It's not like the size of a Hyundai Veloster, much larger than that, and there's a ton of space on the interior, which I'm going to show you. The features in the back seats are amazing. Onto the front part of the car, because with EVs, you pop the hood to see if there's a frunk. So on the IONIQ, more of a traditional look up here. It's kind of similar to the VW ID4. So there's this plastic case here. You pop this open, and there's about enough room to store your Game Boy. So not really any useful space up here, but that's fine. The car also has a fully panoramic roof, shark fin antenna here for satellite radio, and then around the back, I absolutely love this white IONIQ 5 logoing with the Hyundai logo on top, and then the lucid blue. It just all comes together very nicely. This feature here is also a hard plastic, almost has a nickel look to it. I like how this trim molds its way around the car along with the piano black. It gives it a classy retro look that really no other EVs on the market currently have, and that's what separates it. So now onto the interior of the car, and we got to start with the back seats. This is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. So you open it up here, looks like a normal back seat. Andrew was driving the car, he's 6'3". So when I get in the back here, I still have plenty of room, and his seat is like, it's way back. Now, if I want to recline, I can pull this lever right here and move this seat in a way that I mean, you are leaning all the way back. You could comfortably sleep back here. And a nice piece of engineering that Hyundai did so you could recline that seat all the way can be shown right here. You'll notice there's a notch here, and then I have it on the back notch, so you can move this and still use the protective cover while being able to fully recline these gray leather seats. And the seat comfort and quality is excellent. I was just in my friend's brand new Porsche Macan. It feels like the same level of quality, but it should, because the car costs $55,000 as spec'd. These start at $43,000 and they're still available for the $7,500 tax credit, bringing that cost down into the mid-30s, which is amazing for a car these days. The average car these days is selling at like $44,000, which to me is way too high. So the fact that you still have the tax incentive, it is an electric vehicle, it has these futuristic look with all this technology, makes it an amazing package. Additionally, in the back seat, you have this vent here, which goes side to side, up and down, and then you have the ability to shut it off completely. I like this because it's more focused on the comfort of the rear passenger as opposed to just having a vent here, which just cools your kneecaps or warms your kneecaps. Generally, my kneecaps are a fine temperature, so I look for it to warm my upper body, and I think it's very smart of them to put that there. It's a luxury feature. It feels like they really thought out the back end of the car. There's also this mesh right here. It seems like a durable thing, easy to get stains out of if your child vomits on the back of the seat. Hopefully they don't, but they might. You can get stains out of this, and I think it's a durable material. The back here is just plastic, which is fine because it gets kicked anyways. And then you have this stretchy material to put things back there. You also have a Bose sound system, some nice plush leather. It's a hard surface. The leather itself is nice. There's just not a lot of give. The other smart thing they did, now these are expensive cars, but they blend this in, making it look like leather. Now, you're never gonna touch this, so it doesn't really matter if it's leather or not. So the fact that they were able to cut some costs here and make this plastic while making it look like leather, I think is a smart thing. So very nicely done, simple and effective. Again, we've already shown this, which that's a nice feature, some privacy. Additionally, on the exterior, you have the functional roof spoiler, gives it a sporty look. And what I'm hoping that Hyundai does in the future, and if they do this, I will almost certainly buy the car, is if they make an N variant of this. Hyundai has come a long way in the past several years, and by bringing Albert Biermann on from BMW's M division to run their N division, they've made people like me highly consider Hyundai. The reason it's important to make performance-oriented cars is because it gets you interested in the brand. They set a lap record, you go to the website, you check out the car, you're like, well, I can't quite afford that one, but maybe we'll get this one that has the sport package. So I think it's smart that they're investing in that, and I'm happy to see them do it. I've driven the Veloster N, it's amazing. But let's get back to this. So now that we've covered the exterior features and some of the interior features, let's get in it, let's take it for a drive, talk about some of the technology, and talk about how it drives. All right, so on to the driving dynamics of the car, and we'll also go through some of the screens here. The first thing to note is there is a button down here that says drive mode. The drive mode changes the throttle response, and what it also does is shows you the difference in mileage between each of the modes, which I'll show you here. So right now we are in sport mode, 106 miles of range. If we go to eco mode, 112 miles of range. In normal mode, 109 miles of range. Now that can all change based on how you're driving, but I like that it reflects the differences. It also shows us currently that we're getting 3.1 miles per kilowatt hour, and that's an appropriate way to measure it because when you calculate that to a 77 kilowatt hour battery, it goes right up to about 256 miles, which is what it's rated from the EPA. This screen here is a touch screen, so we'll swipe over, and there's tons of settings on here. Very cool one is quiet mode. Quiet mode lets you decrease volume of the car, but it turns off the volume in the back seat. So if you have someone sleeping in the back, makes it quiet for them while you're still able to listen to something in the front. That's a cool feature. Also has heated and ventilated seats. I think it's really cool it has ventilated seats, especially out here in Arizona. And there's also some smart ventilation and some other options here that you can activate in your car to have it ready to go when you get in it. It also has Apple CarPlay, but it seems like you have to have it set up to where your phone is plugged in. So that's just a brief look at some of the options in here. Here's a look at the map. These screens are really nice, and I just like that it's quick, it's snappy. There is no room anymore to have lag in these screens, so it's nice that they have that. And then there's the navigation screen. So let's take this thing for a drive and talk about driving dynamics. First thing to note is there are paddle shifters. So there's paddle shifters here, and the paddle shifters, this is only a single speed transmission, so the paddles change the level of regenerative braking. So if I hit minus, it reduces it and lets it glide. You can fully pull off the regenerative braking and then just let the car glide like a regular car. But if you want to have it fully on, you can do that. And you can also put it on the highest mode, which is called I-pedal in the Hyundai. And that means it single pedal driving. So it'll come to a complete stop without you having to hit the brake, as long as you're judging it correctly. The ride quality, despite it having 20-inch wheels, is excellent. So if you got the smaller wheels, it would be even better. I think these look the best personally, but again, if you want to have full comfort and better efficiency, the smaller wheels generally works better. Now, as far as sportiness goes, so we'll put it into sport mode. If they make an N variant, that will be the quick car. This is a cruiser. This is a comfortable car. So I'm happy that it does have a sport mode button, because it is fun to do some quick accelerations, because that's what's great about electric cars, is having that immediate torque. So I really like that. But again, this isn't a sports car. We will do some 0 to 60 tests on it to check out exactly how fast, how quick it is accelerating. But it's just a nice car. It's comfortable. It's very spacious, especially in the back. You could easily fit 5 people in this car, but very comfortably fit 4 people in the car if you're doing some sort of road trip. Storage space is decent. There's obviously nothing in the front. On Teslas, you have that under compartment in the rear. This does not have that. So what you see is what you get. You're able to fold the seats down and get the benefits of having a hatchback, and that's great, but there could be some limitations to it. For the most part, you're going to be totally fine. This car is big, like I said. Once you see it in person, I think you're going to be really surprised. The other thing I'll note, the steering wheel is almost identical to a Lucid, which is kind of funny. The screens are nice. It gives you good visibility on what you need to see, and it also has a heads-up display, which can be useful. I currently have the heads-up display turned off. I'm happy it's an option on the car. I just find it kind of distracting, because you're like focusing on that when you need to be focusing on the road out ahead of you. But again, I like that you have the option. That's what people like. They like to have the options and set it however they want. So it's good that they have it. I currently have the cooled seats on, and I can tell you they work very well. My behind is cool. That's a good thing, because you don't want, you don't want to build up moisture in that region. It's just not good for anyone. Thank you, Hyundai, for keeping me cool. But in sport mode, it gives you these nice displays here that turn red. It gives you the amount of torque that you have. And like, we're moving nicely. So for some sport driving, big heavy car, so you can really feel it in the corners. And again, this isn't, it doesn't have a performance suspension or anything like that. So, to be driving it like that's kind of ridiculous, but you can do it. I really enjoy this car. And people asking the question, and I know it's annoying, Tesla's constantly brought up, but when you're talking about electric vehicles, Tesla is the standard. Have to compare it to that, because everyone who's shopping for an electric vehicle is probably looking at Tesla. So the question of, would you buy this over a Tesla Model Y? And for me, as of now, if you know you're going to drive this locally only, then I think you can consider buying this over the Model Y. Ride quality is a little bit better. It's a little bit quieter. They both have excellent sound systems. It's really going to come down to what car do you like better, because remember, you're paying for the car. Everyone gets so caught up in what brand you have. Whatever you personally like, and after you've done your research, be confident in that decision. Just because all of your neighbors have Teslas doesn't mean you have to. I've driven now the IONIQ 5, the Mustang Mach-E, both the GT and the Standard Edition. I've driven the ID4, and I own a Model Y. As far as ranking all of those, this is probably tied with the Mach-E in second. I personally like the Tesla better. A lot of that, it has to do with the performance of the vehicle and the charging network and the simplicity of it. But I love this car. I'm not trying to take anything away from it. That's just my opinion. Your opinion will differ varying on your lifestyle and needs. This is an excellent car. It's a well-built car, and the fact that they were able to do this in that short of a time period, to me, is very impressive. I think you can be confident in purchasing this, especially with Hyundai's warranty. It's better than anyone in the industry, so you can really lean on that. All of this battery technology is new, so you get worried, well, what happens in 200,000 miles? If you do that before 10 years, you're covered with them. There's also a maintenance package covered for the first 3 years, which Tesla does not have. So that's great. The other thing I will say, I've seen dealer markups on these things to be pretty ridiculous. Do not put up with that. Do not pay that markup fee. The best advice I got, and this was directly from Hyundai, was if you feel that a dealer is marking their car up too high, call into corporate, let them know what's going on, and they can refer you to a different dealership that will not mark the car up. That's what Hyundai directly said to me, and I thought that was great advice, because it is frustrating. You want to buy this new technology and they're marking it up $10,000 when you should be getting that $7,500 tax credit, because a lot of what takes away from Tesla right now is the car prices keep rising up. So the fact that these companies have a car that's priced in the $50,000 or $40,000 range and you can get an additional $7,500 off is very appealing, and it's frustrating to me when dealerships put those markups on that take away from that. So that's my advice, and I hope that helps you. There's plenty of videos coming on this thing. I'm very excited about it. It's really cool to see all these companies roll out different electric vehicles, and the IONIQ 5 looks-wise is probably the coolest one out there. There's so many people that turn their heads and are pointing and wondering what it is. Really well done car, and thank you to Hyundai for letting me use this press car for a week, because it really helps me get a full perspective of all of the cars that I've driven. So I know I'm a Tesla owner and you guys think I'm going to be biased, but it doesn't matter to me whether you buy this or a Tesla. I don't care either way. I try to give an unbiased opinion of all of these cars. Really where Tesla's ahead is just the charging network. Also, this battery, like if you compare this to a Tesla Model 3, the standard level Model 3 has a 55 kilowatt hour battery. This is 77 kilowatt hour batteries, and they are getting similar range. This is also an SUV, and I understand that. So Tesla's slightly ahead in battery technology, but this is really well done, and really the charging networks just need to get a little bit better for the competition to be able to catch up even more. So big fan of this car, excited to see what else they develop with it, really hoping for an N variant, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you're still with me, please drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to see the other videos I will be producing on the IONIQ 5. I'm going to do as many as possible in the week that I have it, because I've been looking forward to this for a long time. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Ice in my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping